Thanks, Dave. At one time or another, most people dream of owning their own business. Many people have often thought about it, but the prospect of taking the gamble on borrowed money and the red tape involved in getting government programs designed to help scare many people off before they even begin. But it may not be as difficult as it seems. Today, Christine Osmond zeroes in on the success of one business development corporation in the Annapolis Valley.
Roman Bartku's pottery and glassworks are exhibited internationally. Greg Huey and his partner own a specialty bake shop, and Catherine Evans' sheepskin craft shop has expanded. These people are a small representation of more than 300 small businesses Annapolis Ventures has helped in the last 3.5 years. Quite a record in a rural area with a population of only 24,000 people.
We had nothing, absolutely nothing to start our business. Annapolis Ventures is just fantastic.
But what is Annapolis Ventures? It's one of 12 business development corporations across Nova Scotia, and working from a tiny office in Middleton, has had outstanding success in helping small businesses get started in Annapolis County. The nonprofit organization is federally funded through Canada Employment and Immigration. The staff are all local people, and that's one of the keys to success.
We have excellent staff that take a very community-minded approach to the development of employment, and really, you know, I think the board of directors are all very community-oriented. We want to work with businesses and have them be successful. We want to have people realize their dreams. And
Annapolis Ventures has invested more than $1 million in creating employment, but only 20% of the clients have asked for financial help.
It was local expertise that I seemed to feel I needed to go on in expanding my business. And as I talked to the people in the office, I felt very comfortable about sort of sounding out more questions and getting professional answers.
The company also provides technical expertise, management training, and perhaps more importantly, ongoing support in the form of counseling and advice on how to start and maintain a successful business. Annapolis Ventures has become a vital part of the county community and has contributed much in promoting its growth and in combating unemployment, one of the biggest problems in rural areas across the Maritimes.
You can't do anything unless you send.
In Middleton, Christine Osmond, ATV News.
I want to get this out there. The culture of rural Nova Scotia needs to be out there and recorded for future generations. My name is Brenda Thompson. I am a writer and the owner of Moose House Publications in Perrott Settlement in Annapolis County. One of the things I really appreciated about this county and this area was the artists and the writers and the philosophers, and I decided I wanted to tap into some of this rural talent, and that's why I started Moose House. Moose House Publications was kind of a lofty idea in my head until I went to Annapolis Ventures and a self-employment benefit program. Not only did they help me focus, but they gave me some financial support to help me launch the business, but I couldn't have done it without them. I work very closely with the editor, Andrew Wetmore. We actually met each other at a writing group in a cafe, and we talked about our work, his work. He loves theater, and I'm a local history writer. One of the challenges is publishing from a rural spot, but we're doing well. We have so far to date published 44 books. We really focus on rural Nova Scotian authors, artists, writers. Every day as a publisher is very different. I try to go to book launches and book readings for our authors to be supportive of them. Just recently I went to see Laura Churchill Duke, the author of our third book that we published, which was wildly successful, Two Crows Sorrow. This is part of what I wanted to achieve with Moose House, was to put a focus on the talent and the skills of the writers and authors here, and the history, the overlooked history. We really feel this is important, and Moose House loves to publish manuscripts such as that are about unknown history or overlooked history or stories that aren't well known. Where I live in Perrott Settlement, it's a 175-year-old house, and it used to be known as a moose hunting camp. The legend was you could look out any window and you would see a moose. So a lot of people refer to the house that I live in now as a moose house. Oh, that's the old moose house. I love to go into bookstores, hand new books over, look at books. The owner and I, or the worker there, will talk about books, and it's like an exciting adventure we're going on together. Trying to get some publicity out there and make sure that the world knows we're here, and the authors of Moose House are here, and we're talking about rural Nova Scotian culture, and I think that's pretty unique.
To see how flax is used in the modern day and to look back and see how it's been used throughout its history is quite an eye-opening experience. My name is Howard Seelig. I'm the co-owner of Valley Flax Flour in Middleton, Nova Scotia. Flax has a really long history of use with humanity. It was one of the first cultivated foods that we grew and nurtured and used for not only its culinary value, but also for the value of its fiber in the stalks. My introductory experience to flax was at North Queens Nursing Home in Caledonia. The program that we had going there using the flax made a tremendous impact on the reduction of pharmaceuticals in the nursing home and the lifestyle of the residents. And that's when I started thinking, well, if we grind flax, does it still have the great nutritional properties? What I discovered was that by grinding it up, you actually provided omega-3 fatty acids. Residents were getting a high-quality protein, the lignans, and both soluble and non-soluble sources of fiber. We started grinding flax seeds in a coffee grinder and sending that off to the nursing home. We started the business, my wife Wendy and I, who's my business partner. Since we were seeing a lot of growth in the number of nursing homes that were using the product, that there was probably a business model there. In my work as a dietitian, I wanted to counsel people to have a healthy lifestyle. In my business ownership and the milling of flax, it's to offer them a product that gives them solutions to situations that they found themselves in. Annapolis Ventures was right on board right from the start, whether it's been financial support, counseling support, and helped to provide me with employment income while I developed a business model and while I started moving forward. When the times have got tough, and they've been very tough sometimes going through the business, Annapolis Ventures has always been there. In terms of how we've always approached our business, we've wanted to be engaged in the community, hire local staff, help local people. After the market started to grow, I had to spend more time marketing and sales. So we ended up hiring people in to do the work that I had been doing. We've had tremendous staff. The milling operation consists of the whole seeds going into a grinder, then falling through the grinder into a sifter. In the sifter, they're separated out from the harder pieces of the outside shell, and the sifted product goes into packaging. When we moved into the new facility, I decided that we needed some kind of a test area where I could do some baking. The objective of that was to develop recipes that people could use, understand how easy it is to incorporate flax into a baked product. Using flax really does make a difference in people's lives. Valley Flax Flour was developed because we had a purpose and because my wife and I wanted to drive that purpose forward. And the customers have really responded positively. They know that they're going to get something that's good, added into their lives, happy to get the product and happy to use it.
We're in the business of growing trees, and we've set out to grow climate-hardy, locally grown trees here in Nova Scotia. So what's unique about what we're doing is that no part of the process involved in us producing a tree for you has come from another region of either Canada or another country. So we are in control of that process from the beginning to the end, and we're able to produce a tree that has not only the ability to survive here, but to thrive here. What we're standing in front of is ELIPOD equipment. This is technology that's cutting edge as far as innovation in the industry for growing trees. What we have here is a hopper. At this end, we put the media in. The media is transferred into this chamber, into this stainless steel tube you can see here, and that media or potting mix is now transferring from the metal tube into a paper tube. Once it's compressed to the right degree, this pull arm is able to transfer it to the conveyor system. The conveyor system pulls it along. This guillotine, we're able to determine the length of the pot. It will continue to cut the paper tube into the length determined, and we're able to then transfer them into these air pruning trays. What this technology allows us to do is to grow the healthiest plant possible without the use of single-use plastic. So for us, we're actually able to create a tree that grows in a plantable membrane. That tree doesn't suffer transplant shock. It also is very easy for the consumer to take and place in their garden. Up until the point where we found the CBDC, we were looking for this bridging loan to acquire this equipment, and the traditional settings didn't understand what our business was. We couldn't seem to make them understand what our business was. So in our approach to the CBDC, what we found really refreshing right away was that they understood our vision, and they actually made a site visit. And by taking a look at what we were already doing, they could appreciate our vision. And we also benefited greatly from their business counseling. If you've ever looked at an application for finance before, there's lots of pages, lots of questions, lots of analysis, lots of forecasts. Those were all things that we were intimidated by, but the CBDC was able to simplify that process, offer us business counseling during that process, and really help us complete the paperwork end of what we needed. They were there to answer our questions, whether it was on the phone, by email, or on-site visits. The CBDC was definitely community-minded. They were really easy to work with. It seems that these are exactly the kind of ventures that they really desire to see in our communities. I would definitely encourage other entrepreneurs to seek their services. We are happy to be entrepreneurs because it's taken something that was a passion, our hobby, to something that can be our livelihood. It's also been able to lend itself really well to being in control of our lifestyle. It's very conducive to raising children, having them work alongside us, and enjoying what we do now, not something to put off and enjoy in the future. My name's Michelle Morrison. We run a business called Maple Grove Nursery, and we're located in Bridgetown, Nova Scotia.